Yeah, headed on out to the site. It's 109 what my car's showing right now. Outside temp without the heat index, probably about 98. So it's probably about 110 heat index here in Mississippi. 100% freaking humidity. Always hot. But anyway, I want to talk about probes. See a lot of people use probes when they arrowhead hunt, and I just don't use a probe anymore, and I'll tell you why. Me and a buddy of mine was trying to find a site one time. We knew there was a site there because there was a little bitty green field in real close proximity to this site. So we took our probes, and this went on for probably a year. 4 or 5 different times we had went around this little green field, and we probed and we probed and we probed. We never hit a rock, not one. And well, went out there about the 5th time, 6th time, whatever, however long it was. So we was determined. You know, we kept going around there trying to see, pinpoint which direction this site was. Lo and behold, we hit a rock. We dug it up, broke arrowhead. Well, then what happened? Then we get down there with a shovel. As soon as we poke a shovel in the ground, we start finding broke ones and whole ones and stuff left and right. And the point is that probe only covers a small, tiny piece of the ground whenever you stick it in that ground. So that arrowhead, that probe could be sliding right by that arrowhead, that piece of quartzite, flint, chert, whatever, and it won't tell you nothing if it don't hit it. So whenever I do search holes, I do them with a dang shovel. I'm digging me about a 1 foot by 1 foot and get down. Because even if you don't find flakes, you can find charcoal bits, and that'll tell you if you're at the site or not. But I figured I'd share that little tip on my thoughts on probes. Now we covered that little tidbit on my thoughts on probes and everything. Kind of got a little cut short because I had to jump up in the store, get me some hydration while I'm on the way to the site. I'm not affiliated, but some good stuff. You put the liquid and the kick butt back in you when you get down on your hydration. Anyway, I'm preloading my hydration levels before I get down here and sweat my butt off. But we're going to talk about campsite locating. Big question everybody has all the time. How do you find a campsite? How do you know where to dig? Blah, blah, blah. You see it all the time. Well, I'm fixing to let you in on a top secret. I just figured this out about a year ago, 7-8 months ago. I found this app, and I'm telling you, I've kept this one under my hat. I let a couple people know. You know who you are. You know who let you on to that. Anyway, the name of the app is CalTopo. CalTopo. It's free on iPhone. I ain't sure if it's on Android or not, because I got iPhone, but I'm sure it's on there. So, yeah, this app, if you understand how to read it, would definitely improve on you finding a campsite. No questions asked. My apps that I usually gonna use is gonna be OnX Hunt, and you know, you got your ley lines on there, your elevations on there, but it just don't. It'll miss elevations big time. There's several. I can't even count them on 2 hands. How many campsites we've done that it's elevation change, 2, 3, 4 foot elevation change, that it don't show nothing on OnX. So don't trust OnX on an elevation change. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, an elevation change, that is what you're looking for. If you're looking for a campsite, you're looking for an elevation change, preferably close to water, but not necessarily have to be close to water. There is sites, and I'm sure around me, and I'm sure around lots of other people, that there is no water source that you can see. But trust me, at one time it was there. It could have been a spring head. It could have even been a creek at one time. Hell, it could have even been a river, as far as that's concerned, at one time. Waterways change back and forth all the time over these these thousands and thousands of years, and a lot of these campsites we dig will be an elevation change right next to an old creek run. It'll look like a slough. What do you think a slough is? A slough is where the creek has changed course over years, and that's the old creek, and now it ain't even there anymore. So elevation change, main key factor of looking for a campsite. Not necessarily have to be an elevation change, and it don't have to be a big one. It could be a big long flat with a creek at the bottom. Most of the time, another key thing to find a campsite is if you come across, if you're outdoorsman, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Now, if you ain't real woodsy, you might not understand what I'm saying here, but if you're an outdoorsman, you'll know. You walking through the woods and you just see man, that's a perfect little spot right there to camp. And it's usually going to be because of an elevation change that makes it have that feature, that thing that grabs your eye. But, you know, if it looks like a place that you would like to camp and it'd be a nice place, beautiful scenery, pretty, elevated a little bit, that the Indians thought the same way. They going to stay on them elevation change or high spots with water nearby. So keep y'all on that for the people that don't know how to locate sites. And before we get into the CalTopo app that I'm going to talk about, we'll go ahead and hook in the elevation change, looking for campsites into the probing and stuff. I know a lot of people do hunt with probes and try locating sites with probes, but as I said just a few seconds ago, that's not exactly the best technique in my opinion. Now, whenever you get on these elevation changes, if you find them or see places that you want to test out, I do it all the time. Usually if you're on a campsite, or if there's a campsite in the vicinity of where you're looking, you're going to be hitting on flakes. You're going to see flakes in exposed dirt areas. Trees that's turned over is a good place to look. It's a free investigation right there. You got a big tree, the wind's blowed over, it's uprooted, you got a big plug in the dirt right there. Get down in there and look in those roots. I found arrowheads in the roots of trees that's blowed over. That's a free little test spot right there that nature's already opened up for you to investigate. But you go around areas that looks like they might have been habitated at one time, and just go over there and I take my shovel, the width of my shovel, I step on it, poke it in the ground, and then I just make me a square, the width of my shovel, stick on the front, the side, both sides, and then the back, and then pull that whole plug out of the ground. Now, that plug's going to tell me a couple of things. On a campsite, normally, a lot of times, especially a multicultural old campsite, you're not going to hit the bottom layer of your soil. I don't know how it is in other parts of the world, but in our area, you have a topsoil, and then you kind of got a middle layer, and in some areas you don't have a topsoil. In some areas it's just gray dirt for 6 inches, and then you hit like a red clay or a hard dirt, you know, and that's not going to be, you can find arrowheads in it, but that's not going to be a multicultural site. A multicultural site is going to have a deep layer to it. It's going to be 2, 3, 4 foot deep, maybe even deeper than that. And from the years and years of buildup, and a lot of those places, Indians actually bring sand from the creek up onto the campsite to make it, you know, good, where it's not muddy when it rains when they're walking around, as the ground's a lot softer because they're walking around on soft ground. So a lot of times you got that going on, but you can see the color changes as you're digging down through these layers. It'll be normally it'll be your layer of grass, and then you'll have a root layer. Your root layer is going to be normally around here about 8 to 10 inches deep, and you're going to have kind of a dark soil in there. And then below that dark soil, around our area, we'll usually have anywhere from 2-3 inches to up to a foot or two thick of a lighter, usually kind of a reddish brown. It kind of goes from a dark color to a reddish brown, and then as it goes deeper, it'll fade into from a light red to a lighter red into a white. When you hit that white, you're usually at the bottom. So you got those layers, and those layers are different ages. And so if you go and hit a test hole in the ground and that layer isn't there, then there's a good chance that I can look at the dirt and tell just right off the bat most of the time if it's going to be a site. A campsite, unless it's in a pasture, is not going to be compacted hard dirt. It's usually going to be a little softness to it. The other thing you're looking for is charcoal specks, little bitty black specks. They'll smear when you cut through them with a shovel. It'll be a speck and it'll be a black smear where you cut through that speck. That's charcoal, where it used to be a fire there. Not necessarily native proof, but it's a dang good indicator. I mean, there could have been a forest fire, but the chances are, you know, we're talking 6-8 inches deep. Like if the woods burned a year ago, that is not going to be what you're seeing. That's just, like I say, an indicator. It lets me know. I've seen it too many times on campsites. It's always charcoal specks on campsites. So that's one of the things that I look for. That way, if I do that plug in that ground, I'm going to pull that plug up. I'm going to take my knife. I'm going to run my knife through that plug, listen if I hit a piece of flint or not. And if I do hit a piece of flint, what we call flint is Tallahassee quartzite flint. We call chert rock, be your river gravel, flint chert. If you really get into the scientific endeavors of it, it's all the same dang thing. So I ain't trying to argue about all that, just to get you an understanding of what I'm talking about. Flint, chert, flake, debitage, whatever you want to call it. That's what you're looking for, because that's your indicator that Native Americans was working stone on the area, and that's what you're looking for, is areas where they's working stone, because that's going to be the campsite more than likely. So if I do find flakes, then of course I know I'm on a campsite. Now that I've found this, that don't necessarily mean that I'm directly on the campsite. I could still be 100 yards away from the real action of finding points and stuff. I mean, I could just be on the outskirts. So after you got a kind of an idea where your flakes and it could be just a piece of pottery you find. Anything, any kind of artifact or lithic that you find in a test hole is going to let you know something. You're getting closer. You looked up. You're right there on it. But that's pretty much about it on that. Just do your test holes, and I'll poke one. If I don't find anything in a good looking elevated area near water, I might move 30 feet, 30 yards, and I'll poke another one, and I might come back, might do me a big circle, this 50-yard circle around, popping holes every 30 or 40 yards, and just getting an idea. Because if it is a site, you're going to find something if you poke enough holes. You're gonna know if there's something there. And if you get up to a really good looking pretty spot and it's an elevation change and water right there, and you get right in the highest, prettiest open looking spot, that's where your action's usually gonna be. You pop that hole, Lord knows you pull the arrowhead out. Well, you just looked up, there you are, you're right in the middle of it. But that's how I approach it on the test hole thing. Now, as far as the CalTopo out, man, you got to get that. That thing is beast. You go on there, you go to the top where it has your map layers. It's at the top right of the screen after you get the app on your phone, and it's got the 3 lines. That's horizontal. That's your layers. You click that, then you go to the top of that page. When it opens, it's a little box up there, and you click on it, and it'll probably be on like global imagery, where it's like the same kind of view you'd get with Google Earth or something. You click on that and go down, and you'll see an area called shaded relief. Click on that. And this ain't exactly LIDAR, but it's dadgum, for my eyes, it's good enough as LIDAR, because if you understand how to read it, then it'll just poke out to you plain as day. If there's an Indian mound on there, you'll see it plain as day. Indian mound. Hopefully in this video, I'm just flying by the seat of my pants here. I figured I'm driving to the campsite, and I might as well go ahead and use some of my time to try to get some content in for you. But yeah, you get on this thing and you will see. It will show elevation changes. It will show high spots like you've never seen. What it is it's pretty much showing you what it would look like at the sun from a great angle. So it's showing the shade, in other words. So it's not really the high spots you see, it's the shadows, but the shadows gives it depth. So if you look on this thing, I'm telling you, go to some of your sites that if you have sites that you dig on, and go to this CalTopo app and look at it under that shaded imagery. And it's also got some tools. I hadn't really got into the tool aspect of it or anything, but there is some tools. You got some you can drop pins, save pins on there on the map. It's free, it don't cost anything. It's got distance measures, which comes in pretty good handy. There's several other little tools and different little layers on there too. I hadn't really dived into it too good, because all that matters to me is a shaded relief. That's all I need. I mean, it's night and day as far as being able to find a campsite. It will open up your eyes. I'm telling you right now, it takes all the vegetation away. All you see is just the ground and elevation changes. So you get on there, and what I do is I follow creeks. I look for those elevation changes close to water, because that's more than likely going to be your sites. But maybe that give you a little insight on something, and I hope it helps you out. I know it'll help some people out. I know for a fact. I'm pretty sure that there's not a lot of people that know about this app. It's kind of, I can't believe it ain't widespread yet. I mean, I'm researching and looking all the time, arrowhead hunting, artifact hunting, studying how they live, learning as much as I can. Is just, man, it's a huge part of my life. I think about it all the time, and you got to be dedicated if you want to get out there and have your wall full of artifacts, beautiful artifacts. You got to be dedicated. And I'm real dedicated, and I just think I might have got the early worm on this one as far as the app. I can't believe it ain't widespread. We're gonna open it on up, get at least a few hundred more people with it in their pocket, so maybe they can help. And if you do download it and you have any questions on how to do this and how to do that, I don't understand what you're talking about, where do I need to click, what I need to do, then I can go in more depth. Just hit me up in the comment section, ask a question, I'll reply to it less than 24 hours probably. But yeah, I wanted to throw that out here. I've been wanting to get this video out to y'all so you could test that out, because it is really cool. And I want to get some snippets in here of kind of, I'll take us to I open the app on this video, I'll throw it in and we can take a look at it and show you kind of what I'm talking about in live perspective. Kind of explain better exactly what I'm talking about. But I'm pulling up at the site here. Boy, I know I'm fixing to sweat one out. But yeah, it's good talking with y'all. And after I get done hunting, I might share what I found with you. And I'm sure the video of me finding it will probably hit. I might put a little video up on YouTube. I usually take a couple of weeks to get it out, because I got a couple in the hole right now. I'm trying to release one a week, trying to save up some in case we got a bad weekend. Man, yesterday we dug 12 hours. I had a daggone catfish, my old mud cat down here, about dead. He dried out, slammed to the bone, son. 12 hours in the high 90s. If it wasn't for them black and yellow D-Walt fans, we'd have turned into dust and blowed away. But yeah, I'll hit y'all back and finish this video up some more after I get done with this hunt. We'll talk at you in a little bit. Just got here flying solo. Wish me luck. Y'all already know I'm finna grab one out of here. All right, I'm about to daggum fry out here as hot as a sun gun. Nobody can show up. I'm doing it by myself. So I've been hanging in there. Boy, I'm dirty, I'm soaking wet, even with my black and yellow fan going. I done broke through on Brooks' hole from yesterday, and I ain't been hitting on jack. A bunch of broke ones. I'll show them to you if you can see that. Anyway, that's all I've hit on so far. But ooh, I got a friggin' base. Golly, cross your fingers. 2 pairs. Man, I hope this thing's whole. You ready? Come on, let's go in there. Son, look at that base. Golly. golly. Come on, be there for Daddy. Daddy finds it. Oh, Daddy's going home. Boy, that joker is wide. Man, look at the ears on that dude. Golly. Oh, it's got some pressure too. There's a good chance here, folks. Good chance. God dang it, son. What? 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 Golly. Oh, Daddy just got in the game. Daddy got in the game, son. Woo. Man, that's a big old point. I like the big ones with the big old ears. Ah. Yeah, Daddy finna get out of here now. We'll catch you. Well, as you can tell, it's a little daggum dark. But I imagine in this video, I'm gonna end up putting that little big point right there. But look at there, I know it ain't good light in here, but golly, you can see the size of that sun gun. That is a freaking good one. I'll have some pictures in here. I just pretty much need the audio. If you can hang in there and listen just a second. So yeah, my whole thing is stay with it. Determination, and just keep that thrill whenever you get there to start digging. That thrill you got at the beginning where you like, man, I'm gonna find something, I'm gonna find something. Then next thing you know, you 2 or 3 hours in, you done sweated all your liquids out. You sitting there shoving Gatorades down, you're trying to keep up with nature. And you're losing ground and you're losing patience and you about want to give up. Well, don't give up, because you see what time it is. I was planning on being out of there 2 dang hours ago. And I hung in there, and you see that determination to do it. It'll bring them in there for you. But one little old point, or big point, and such as that one, you know, a lot of people wouldn't think that was a whole lot of work for just one little old arrowhead. Well, whenever you like arrowhead hunting as much as we do, then you'll understand it. If not, then if you don't understand that, then maybe this hobby ain't really cut out for you. Maybe you just enjoy watching us do it. I don't know. But determination. Stay determined. Keep after. Keep at them. Keep running that shovel. Keep running that knife. However it is you dig, do it. Get after them. You'll bring them out. Holla.